what I know of you,
Right.
you're not going to put yourself in a position to be non-compliant. You're going to comply. They're going to treat you the way that you're treating them. I think, if you've done something wrong,
Right.
and they've detained you,
Right.
you're not going to be the type, in my opinion, to put them in that spot, right? That's just,
I don't think that I would.
yeah,
I think that I'd have more fear, to be honest.
yeah,
Because I don't. Here's what I think it comes down to. Because I think there's a lack of diversity training in the police force.
yeah,
You're putting young officers in positions where they haven't gone into communities and actually identified who they are.
yeah,
You're putting officers in positions that they may be scared, right?
yeah,
In the academy, they are taught escalation of force, right? They're taught to how to, defend themselves, use certain things, holds and things that they might have to do. I think what we're seeing right now is you're having people that enter into a situation. There's fear on one side,
mm-hmm.
there's fear and anger on another side, and then they meet.
Right.
Right.
And the professional, which is the police officer, only gets that training within the academy.
Right.
They don't ever have, monthly combat training. They don't have mental health fitness on a monthly basis.
Right.
Like that's what's got to change too, is like the tactics about handling people that get out of control.
Right.
And they don't do that but one time in their career, police academy.
Right.
From what I understand.
Right.
Right.
And we might need to research that.
Yeah.
But you made a good point. You actually commented on something that we were talking about, that things that I thought that could be put in place to help, right?
Yeah.
Quarterly mental health evaluations,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
How do we know that this officer didn't go through a nasty divorce and now he's distraught?
Right.
Everything puts him on edge, right?
Yeah.
So now his level is heightened.
Yeah.
How do we know that this officer didn't have a tragic death in the family?
Yeah.
How do we know that he doesn't have depression or anxiety?
Yeah.
Has that been identified?
Right.
Because a lot of people, unless they speak up, you're not going to know that they do. Find that out. If the officer needs a break or he's unfit, let's not put him out there and put him in situations, right?
Yeah.
Anything could tip him,
Yeah.
right? And also, let's increase. I think that in the military, we knew that if you did something wrong, right, you're going to be court-martialed, right? Your military career could be over because you decided to do something or take a life that was unjust, right?
Yeah.
There were times that we had to call to get authorization while we were being shot at before we could return fire.
Wow.
Okay? Over a radio.
Wow.
Okay? Now, that's using escalation of force. You throw a rock at me, I throw a rock back, not a bullet, right? You can't throw a rock at me and I throw a bullet back at you for you throwing a rock.
Right.
If you run from me, I have to chase you. I can't shoot you because you're faster than me or you might get away.
Right.
If you steal, we have a judicial system that's put in place to give you a punishment for what you stole, not for you to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's what we forget too. And then also, I think that there needs to be stricter punishment if the police officers do something that's unjust or take a life. No retirements, no things like that, not to support you, because you knew taking on that badge what the responsibility was if you're found guilty of it, right?
Yeah.
These are civilians at the end of the day. When
Right.
they go home to their families, their dads, their husbands, their wives,
Yeah.
who is there to govern them, right?
Right.
And they may need extra help. So I think that if they do something like that, from the chief down, they have to come out into a boardroom and say, hey, while you're working today, if you do anything that is unjust and we investigate it and we put you on administrative leave or whatever, and it comes out that you didn't take the necessary steps in your escalation of force before you use lethal force or something, we're not going to stand behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Police departments are governed by the state,
Yeah.
right? So, there's a lot of internal things.
Right.
So maybe I'm rambling, but that's just...
I think you hit a lot of points. I think that the bottom line of it all is that they need more tactical training. They need to be skilled. To
Right.
be a part of the police force,
Yeah.
you've got to be in an athletic caliber.
Definitely.
You have to be athletic in caliber. You don't have to be an athlete, but you have to have athletic capabilities.
Capabilities, yes.
You know, like you have to know how to climb a wall. You have to know how to. You need to hit a certain time on like a 40-yard dash. You know, something like that. Like you need to understand. You know, how to use a partner, how to team. You know, how to fight. You need all that.
You need definitely how to fight. I think that there is a big fear when maybe some people might say, well, how can Derek speak about that? I've been in situations where it came up to me to protect the guy that was beside me because we were taking fire.
Yeah.
So these are situations I've been in,
Yeah.
right? But have I been a police officer? No.
Yeah.
But what I think is, if there was extra resources, right, extra training put in, you wouldn't see a lot of the things that are going on right now, because I feel like people are being backed, they're being supported, right? And it does have a heightened state of fear right now. What you said about people having more athletic training and more defensive training, learning how to fight and things like that, I think that is important, because maybe if the police officer felt more comfortable in his capability, the first thing he wouldn't go for would be his gun.
Sure.
Because right now, heck, hey, I know Scott's a black belt. I'm not gonna win this.
Right.
How do I even the playing field, right?
Yeah.
This guy's 6'3".
They grab that because they're so deathly afraid. You know, and if they were trained in martial arts, you know, or fighting, just boxing almost.
Right.
If they were just trained in boxing,
Right.
they would have more confidence to not have to reach for that gun so soon.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Confidence. Right?
Yeah.
I think the most powerful job right now is if you're a judge, a lawyer, a police officer. They are putting a lot of responsibility, just like they did us. 18, 17 years old, they put a rifle in your hand, you go overseas. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of responsibility on these young men and women, right, to make split-second decisions, to have a good moral compass, right? And we need more vetting, right? We need to look into their Facebook pages. If they got a crazy Facebook page and they got a bunch of stuff on there that is kind of questionable,
right,
I don't know if they need to be an officer, because you've now made them one of the most powerful people in this community.
Right.
Right? You know, that gun and that badge comes with a lot of responsibility, and it has a lot of power.
It does.
You know, so I think that the more vetting that we can do, the more we can have maybe diversity training, you know? Maybe have some meetings where the community can come out and say, hey, these are issues that we think we're having with the departments right now. You know, can we speak about it?
Right.
More diversity in other areas too. I just feel that
and then more diversity in actually putting people of diversity in these spots.
Because yes, maybe in Montgomery County, we may not see as big of issues as inner cities have.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not the same type of conflict. And let me go ahead and say, I'm not against police. I'm not here to talk about that. A lot of my family members have been officers or retired officers.
Well, your brother just,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
you support him.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it hurts my heart to see things happen, and the first comments I see are so negative that you've totally missed the point to even have a little bit of concern for that person's life. You know? Okay, we have had serial killers still fulfill 20-some years in jail. They had people in their freezers. If they're allowed to come and do an interview and have a trial or be up for parole, shouldn't the person be able to at least make it to the courthouse?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is like happy about the people dying.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, what's the solution of these nonsensical acts that go on that kill people?
Right.
Especially people of color.
Right.
So like that needs to be talked about.